tutorial channel, where today I'm going to be taking you through how to make your own high-waisted drawstring pants. Kind of similar to these are a bit frayed at the bottom, so I'm going to have a bit clean on the bottom and make them just a little bit different. So I'll talk you through the steps of how to do that. But first off, what we need to get started are a pair of pants that you like to wear and are a good reference for measures and shapes and size and whatnot. Some fabric that you'll be making your pants out of, something that's lightweight. Linen is a good option, otherwise cotton or something like that. Some scissors, some matching thread to whatever fabric you get, and then also the matching bobbin thread to that. And then a pen or a pencil or something that you can pop into the fabric, which we're going to use to get the strap ends out. I've got a clean paintbrush, that's also a good option. Some pins if you like to use them, some fabric chalk and a measuring tape, and lastly but not leastly, the sewing machine. So to get started, we're going to get the pants that we have as the reference and fold them inside out. So now we have this line that we can follow to outline and create a pattern from. You can either do this straight onto like a butcher's paper or something if you want to create a reference. Otherwise, I'm just going to outline it with my fabric chalk right onto the fabric. So we're going to cut out 4 panels and obviously start sewing them. So what I'll do is I'll do the 2 back ones first, lay it down, put it in place, and remember to add seam allowance. So draw the line about 1 inch out from the actual frame of your garment, and that should allow for enough seam allowance. So I'll outline this for me. And so my original pants are quite fitted. The idea of having the drawstring is that it's able to slip on and you tighten it up. So what we're going to do is, instead of following the side line, we're just going to go straight from the edge of the pants, so this edge here, and instead of following that line there, we're going to go straight up, and that means that when we have the drawstring there, it'll gather in this part there. So lay that back down and draw my straight line from the top down to there, which conveniently I've just aligned with the edge. That's a good thing to do as well if you want to save fabric. Put everything towards an edge and work across. And then I'll just draw the line from down here. Okay, perfect, so that's 1 panel. I'll cut that out, flip it over and repeat it on that side. I'm lucky with linen that there's not really a good and a bad side, but say if this was a pattern, you would cut that out, then flip it over, trace around that and cut that out, making sure that the good sides are facing in so that they reflect each other. So we'll do that. So there's that one. And then flip it, place it down. Actually, to save fabric, I'm going to flip it around that way so it fits into that little nook. And now I have my 2 panels. So one side, the other side, and I'm just going to put them together and place them aside, and then work on the back side, or the front side this time. So what I'll do is get the shorts, fold them around. Now we're focusing on the front side. Sometimes they're quite different, but the main thing is the back normally has just a bit more length. I'm just going to grab the back side and line it up with this so I can get the same angle of the bottom leg. Okay, so that's little front side done. I'll do the second panel for that now. Awesome, there's the other 2 front panels done now. So pop them together. Leaving this fabric aside, but we're going to use it to make the waistband and then the drawstring section. So put that aside. And the first thing we're going to do, so the 2 panels that we've placed on top of each other, we're just going to sew down the crotch area. So from the top, down this angled line and to that point, and we'll stop there. We'll do that on both panels. So what we're doing is just joining the two matching panels together. And again, if you have patterned material or something that has a good side and a bad side, this is where you face the good sides together. So now when I undo that, those two panels are joined together, but we're leaving this crotch area unsewed. So lay that out, grab the other side and do the same. And there's the second one all done. So now that they're both sewn together, we are going to then join the front and back panels. Pop one of them down with the good side facing up. Unfold this one, and the good side you want to then place down so that they're facing each other. And if you want, this is where you can pin, but you just pin down each side and along the inner crotch. And that's then how we join the pants together. So on the side one, I actually stopped a little bit up from the bottom, so there's a little split there. So I'm going to experiment with the finish and how to make it a little bit different. Either have a split there or make a little curved edge. See what ends up looking better or whatever's easiest. There we have all the sides joined together, and then we will sew up one side of the leg to the crotch and then down the other side of the leg, and that will join the inside of the pants. Compared to my actual waist size, it's quite large, so the drawstring will bring it in and give it that gathered effect. What we do with that is we're going to be attaching the waistband onto this. So we want to create a band that is the width on both sides and has a tunnel where we can add the strap through. This is where the measuring tape comes in handy, and also the notepad and pen. If you have that handy, it's good just to write it down so you can reference it. So we'll measure, make sure it's nice pulled out straight. So my one was 21. I'll then obviously double that because we're doing both sides, and then add seam allowance. And because there's only going to be one seam, I only need 1 inch. So obviously that is 42 plus 1 is 43. So 43 is going to be the waistband, and then the strap inside is going to be that measurement plus 8 inches. So it's always good to have the strap height a little bit smaller than the waistband height, as that's going into the waistband. So I know I want my strap to be about 1 inch. Then to allow for the strap to fit within the waistband should be about 1.5 inches. So knowing that final measurement, we're going to then double it because we'll be folding it in half. So 1.5 times 2 is 3. And then we're going to add 1 inch of seam allowance so that it can join on properly. So that's 4 inches for mine. And then we'll do the same thing with the strap. So I want my strap to be 1 inch, which means I'll double it to 2 inches and then add 1 inch seam allowance. So that's 3 inches. Perfect. So now I have all the measurements that I can begin cutting. I'll lay out the fabric, draw it all out and start cutting it. So what I've ended up with is 2 long strips. This wider one and shorter one is going to be the waistband. I end up folding and attaching like that. And this longer, thinner one is the strap that goes inside and helps tie it all up. So we'll start with the strap. What we need to do is fold it in on itself and sew down the long side. And again, this is where you would fold the good sides in, and then we're going to flip it out and expose the good sides. Have the long side sewn down, and I've actually sewn down one short side as well, because in a second we're going to use this paintbrush, pen, whatever you ended up finding, and you pop it at the end that's closed and put the pressure up against it, and then you start to unravel and pull the fabric over the top of it to push the good side out. If you have other ways of doing this, that's fine. I know some people use safety pins and other things like that. It's the beauty of sewing, there's so many different ways to do everything. Just do whatever you prefer. And there you have the good side facing out now. And one end is frayed and the other end is nice and clean. So what we're going to do is just double fold the fray end, so that ends up being nice and clean, and we'll just single fold the nice ends so that they end up looking the same. And we'll sew them down. And that will go around the waist like that and tie up. Perfect. So we'll pop that aside for when we need to start putting that in. And now we'll add the waistband to the pants. So what we do is we grab the waistband, fold it in half, and instead of sewing down the full length of this short end, we're just going to sew to halfway, because we need this string to be able to come out and tie out the front. So by sewing halfway, it's leaving that other half to be the open end. You'll see it come to life actually, but we'll do this first. Perfect, so I've just sewn half of that, you might be able to see. And on these little bits that are open, I'm just going to fold them, like do a little hem and fold them in so that the frayed edges are hidden. So once we've closed up those open ends and made them a bit cleaner, what we're going to do next is fold it all in half lengthways so we get it to that final width that we want it to be. So again, this is where you might pin it down. This time we're actually not going to be doing good sides to good sides. We're going to have it so the good sides are facing out and the bad sides are on the inside. So I'm just going to sew it down and then we'll attach it onto the pants. That waistband's ready to attach. So I flipped the shorts with the good sides facing out now. And what we're going to do is we're going to match the circumference of this to the pants and line it up on the top ready to sew. So this open side, so one side now has a closed front seam and the other side has that open seam, which is where the band is going to come out. We want that to be facing down so that's good sides to good side, because we obviously want that facing the front. And obviously find the front of your pants, align it with that, pin it in place. And then just match the rest of the waistband. Cool, so that's all matching. I'll pin it down and sew it so it's attached. Cool, and I've finished attaching the waistband now. So as you can see, it's all attached, nice and clean. And there's the hole at the front that we'll be putting the strap through. So if you grab your strap and a safety pin, pop the safety pin through one end and then pop it in through the hole, and then what we're going to do is just start gathering the fabric up against the safety pin and just push it through, pull that bit, start gathering again onto the pin, pull, and keep doing that until it comes out the other side. And while you're doing that, just be aware that you don't accidentally pull in the other end and then just lose it. So that should be fine, it's quite long. Then once you've got it out the other end, pull it and match it with this other end hanging out, and just get it so it's all nice and even. Perfect, so there's that. I'll take the safety pin off, tie that in place so it doesn't get in the way. But essentially, that's what it ends up looking like. So what we just do is then flip it so the good sides are in again, bad sides are facing out. Do a double roll. So what I do is fold it by about half a centimetre and then a full centimetre again. and then just sew all around, or pin it down and then sew all around. Like I said, I left a little bit of the bottoms open, so I'm going to try add a nice little curved effect there. Just give it something nice on the edge, but we'll see how that goes. This might be a good time to try it on, figure out if it is a good length and if you need to take it up more, or be a bit more reserved with how much you take it up in case you have cut it a bit short, or leave it frayed. I'm going to clean up the edges and I'll show you how that all turns out. I finished hemming the bottom and cleaning up all the inside seams just by zigzagging across them so that they don't fray. And this is how it's all turned out. So cute. So it's got that tie waistband so you can take it in and gather it up. Short and high-waisted. It's got an angle on the legs. And see how on the sides I was mentioning I was going to do that little scoop up instead of having it normal. So I've done that, and I'll show you how they look on.